everybody, and welcome back to the Board YouTube channel for Pick and Roll, the NBA discussion and betting show that goes live every single weekday at 11:20 a.m. Eastern Time, or as close to that as we can, to bring you NBA discussion and, of course, the best bets for the night slate. If you guys have been enjoying the content on this show, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more just like this. Like I said, every weekday we try to go live over here at 11:20 a.m. Eastern Time. So let's get into the content for today. As always, the first thing that we do is recap the bets. Unfortunately, the follow-up for the 3-0 Thursday was an 0-2 Friday. So thankfully, it was still a profitable week. But yes, one of the losing bets was on Tyler Herro. It was the controversial decision to go back once again to Tyler. And the Miami Heat got absolutely blown out in this one. And unfortunately, Jalen Brunson did not have the points that we needed as Julius Randle went off. Pips, to just your thoughts on this one. Do you want to go over both of these plays?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think this one is on Tyler Hero at all. We could say something about Tyler Hero, but I don't think that's on him. I mean, he was on pace to hit, and yeah, they were down 30 points, and he didn't have any fourth quarter minutes. And I'm was super positive that if this game was close, this will hit. So I don't think that's on Tyler Hero. Okay, he didn't hit in three quarters. Shame on you, Tyler. He got close. And I'll say, before Giannis was ruled in, the game had 1 point spread. So Giannis went out in the first quarter. So this was 1 point spread game that ended up being 40 point blowout. So yeah, nothing to do here. Happens, and that's about it. I'm not this was on Tyler Hero, saying we need to ban him or anything. This is yeah, we lost Tyler Hero, but it wasn't Tyler Hero usual stuff. It was Miami Heat being terrible.
Yeah.
That's
And
it about the first bet. The second bet, so I'll just Branson was shooting the lights out. I mean, the lights out 50% from the floor, 40% from the 3 point line, getting to the line 8 times a game. And then against the Wizards, in one of the best matchups, he went 6 for 20 and one free throw. And a lot is down to the Julius Randle being super hot, and they were just going to Julius Randle, and Brunson still ended up shooting 20 times even with this. But yeah, I think 20 field goal attempts should be enough to cover this with some free throws, but unfortunately he didn't hit anything. Terrible game from Brunson. So yeah, that one stinks, especially against the Wizards, who were such a great matchup in the entire season.
so very important to us. Sam brings up in the comment here. Very important to us to always be transparent with everything that's going on. We recap losing days as we recap the winning days. No better wins like every single bet. So it's just about your long-term sample size, eliminating variance. This season, it's gone quite well. It's a 94-74 record, up 9 units if you've tailed all the picks, 4.7% ROI if you've tailed all of the picks. And yeah, we've seen success here. So hopefully we get back on track there. Like I said, it was still a winning week if you tailed all 5 of the picks, but let's try to find some more today as we get into a brand new week. Today it is a smaller slate, so it's going to be only one pick for today just because it wasn't great matchups overall, but still Pips has a spot that he wants to give out here on the one official play. Let's pull it up here. It is involving the Miami Heat once again, but it is not involving Tyler Herro, so don't worry, everybody. We are going to Jimmy Butler on this one, and I believe a first game total featured on the show. Here is the official pick.
So we are betting on Butler to score over 17.5 points, and we are combining it with game total under 22, 226.5 under, which is minus 20 at DraftKings. So I'll just say 10 straight games between these teams under hit. And over the last 10 games, we saw a total of 209 point average. Last season in the playoffs, uh, every game was under this line, and every game in the regular season was also under. And the way I look at this is like very slow pace game, very inefficient scoring because these both teams can play defense. And yeah, slow pace, a lot of positional attacking like post ups and stuff. And yeah, I think the Miami Heat offense stinks. Like I would say, if we exclude tanking teams, they are the worst in the league. I will
They,
say some teams have better offense than them. Like
they've been struggling a lot recently, all over the place, but offensively in
yeah,
particular.
offense was struggling entire season, but defense lately was also very questionable. And I think Butler was furious after the last game. They're like, we lost four in a row. We need to figure something out. And I think they are coming into this game fighting. Like, okay, this is not going well. And we know when the things are not going well, when we need some guy to take over, that's Jimmy Butler. Like, for real. Like there is no like the thing with Butler is that I'm always like amazed by is that how of a different player is he when it matters. Like we know with that final trips by Butler and how great was he last season. So 17 games, he had 27 points average. Like that's like always a huge increase compared to the regular season. And I think he needs like with him saying that they need to change something, they need to do it. He was great in the last two games. His usage went up after the in the last two games. He scored 23 points against the Bucks in 21 minutes in a huge blowout. He still ended up scoring 23 points. And in the last game against the Charlotte Hornets, he scored 28. And I mean, okay, losing to the Bucks, okay, but they lost by 30. They lost to Brooklyn Nets with after the trade. They lost to Denver Nuggets at home, and now they lost to Charlotte Hornets. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
And
that's the big one.
I think Butler will suit up for this game and like and also, our favorite guy is questionable for this game. And if he is out, I just don't see the scoring. Like, Adebayo is going against the Embiid. So we could see foul trouble, and it's difficult to score against the Embiid inside. That's two things. Tyler Hero will probably be going against Melton, but he could be out. If Tyler Hero is out, who can score here? Like, how do Miami Heat scores 100 points in this game? Like, only if Jimmy Butler scores a lot. And if we are going to see Butler scoring a lot, that will be like late into the shot clock isolations, going to the free throw line. And yeah, I don't see this as efficient game. And from both sides, in a slow pace actually works great for Jimmy Butler because he's not some guy that's like even the things like I would just say like he wants to isolate the guys and drive to the rim, and I love it in this game for Jimmy. I won't be surprised if we see like 12, 13 free throws for Jimmy Butler tonight.
And I kind of like this comment here from Tuna saying that a direct quote is not direct quote, but paraphrasing, he said he's tired of losing. And if you're tired of losing, your star player typically is the guy who does the most to try and rectify that situation. And, you know, with the way the East is shaping up, every win is going to be vital for this team. You kind of spoke on it briefly. Would kind of like a little bit more of your thoughts as to why the Heat and 76ers match up in such a way that has consistently produced unders on totals.
Both teams are playing slow pace, and both teams are capable of defending. Like one team has Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler. They had Tucker. Like now 76ers have Tucker and have Embiid inside. So this is
Yeah.
not a team that is easy to score against. And Heat and 76ers also has Melton, and they have McDaniels, so they are more than capable of defending. Plus Embiid. When you have a good point of attack defensive player with Embiid in drop coverage, that's very difficult to score against. Like, and when you add slow pace, good transition defense from both teams, then it's not easy to score. There is no easy points to score. Like you need to make jump shots, and that's never easy.
Yeah, makes sense. That is your one official play for today. Going with Butler on the over and the game total on the alt line for the under. But as always, we want to loop in some discussion pieces. And for today, a very prominent thing to talk about. Last night, we had an absolute show from Damian Lillard. Unfortunately, it came at the cost of Pips' Houston Rockets. But I'm sure as a Rockets fan, you watch this game. And I'm sure, this is as much as you're a fan of the Houston Rockets, this probably made the game a lot more exciting. A career high 71 from Damian Lillard. It looked like he was going to maybe go after Kobe's 81 number. He had 41 at the half. Speak a little bit into 71 doesn't happen every day. In fact, I think this is the 8th player to ever do it. What was different about Dame last night compared to a usual game?
Dame time started from the first second of the game. We all know that he is capable to score 20 points in one quarter. Like, Dame is that guy, always has been, especially this season. I'll just pull something up. Like, I think this number is like unbelievably like going under the radar. Like, just a second. So Dame is scoring 32.3 points on average and 7 assists, while shooting in 65.4 true shooting percentage. Like, that's that's better than Steph Curry best season. Like, unbelievably great. Like, and he's surrounded with the guys that you can double off like whenever you want. Like,
Yep.
and he's still producing unbelievable efficiency. Like someone said, like, oh, the player shooting so much, of course he'll get great numbers. Like, he is doing it so efficiently. Like, that's mind blowing how efficient he is. And if you want to talk about last game, like, yeah, he was like, Dame is usually a slow starter. Like, he will try to get everyone involved. He will try to like, and then when it matters, he will just score like 20 or 15 points in the last 10 minutes of the game, and that's Dame time, known as Dame time. But last night he was like, probably he just took a look at his roster and said, okay, there is no one on this roster to create for. Let me cook. And he did cook amazingly. It helps that Houston defense is probably the worst in the league. But if you take a look at the Houston Rockets roster for that game, there is no Kevin Porter Jr., there is no Jalen Green. So their defense wasn't terrible. Like, they had Jabari Smith Jr., I'll say above average defender. Kenyon Martin Jr., I will say an average defender. Deshaun Tate, above average defender. And we have like Ty Washington, he's below average but not terrible. Same thing with Şengün, below average but not terrible. And then you have Tari Eason and Usman Garuba from the bench, two amazing defenders. So like, overall, I would say Houston Rockets defense was above average. So it was not like, oh, he did that against the worst defense in the league. Yeah, sorry guys, but don't. I saw some people trying to take away from this scoring 71 points against the Rockets, but this was unbelievable performance. Like, if you take a look at his shots, that's almost every shot is pull up three. It's not like some like defense fell apart and he shoots a wide open three. No, it was pull up threes from like 30 plus feet, and it's unbelievable.
So I would never take away from a 70-point game at all, ever. But like, this was something even crazy about this. This game did not go into overtime. So again, not taking anything away from it. Donovan Mitchell had 71 early in the season. That was an overtime game. Still incredibly impressive. But to take away from Dame here is ridiculous, considering this was a 48-minute game, did not go to overtime. And like, much like the Mitchell one, the Portland pretty much needed all of these points to get over the line here. Houston kind of made a late push, which actually helped to give Dame those extra minutes. But a 71-point game is ridiculous. One of the comments here is actually the next piece that we want to talk about. Damian Lillard in Portland. You said he looked at his team and he's like, I got to step up. I got to take over. And Tuna brings up Portland wasting him. What are your thoughts on Damian Lillard choosing to remain with Portland, wanting to succeed with Portland in an era that seems to be defined by players actively looking for the right team to win the championship rather than staying in the same place?
Yeah, there are two sides for it. First one is I think the ring culture is wrong, especially when you playing on the not great teams in the West with Golden State Warriors almost the entire career, and you had Houston Rockets being great, you had San Antonio Spurs for some time being great. That doesn't make any sense. Like they got knocked out of the playoffs. Like, is it 5 times by the Golden State Warriors or four
Port-
times?
Portland?
Yeah,
I'll look it up right now, but you keep talking.
yeah. So like you can be like the best player in the league, and if you don't have supporting cast, you can't do anything against the Golden State Warriors, like against these Golden State Warriors. So yeah, I think this ring culture is wrong because he's a great player. Like no matter what, no matter if he doesn't win a ring, like he's still one of the best players we ever seen, and that's about it. The second part, and he's loyal and everything. Like that's okay, great stuff. But on the second part, like he doesn't want to try anything new. Like I think, in my opinion, he should probably leave because there were so many years that he gave them everything, and they didn't made a great team around him. So like I think there is a limit. So I think he should leave. Like this is another wasted year. Like wasted. They probably won't even make the playoffs this season, and he has probably one of the best seasons. Who has the better season than Damian Lillard in this year? Like 5 players, maybe. I won't say even 5, but let's say 5. Like, and you won't even make the playoffs. So that's just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he should look away from the Portland, but I don't think he will.
So it's three playoff losses to the Warriors. It happened in a 4-year span,
Yeah,
one of which was I always remember this. They got swept in a conference final where they led 3 different games by at least 15 points, and they got swept in that series, which is ridiculous. As far as the conversation about Dame leaving, I think first of all, I would like it to be an era where players are more loyal to their teams, but fans have made rings such an important part of a player's legacy that it's almost like they have no choice but to go and search for different things for
that's
their
true.
own legacy. But that's just a culture that's been created. I don't like it, but I think even myself, I've been a little guilty of it in the past. But rings shouldn't be as significant as I guess we make them. But I also agree with you, and I'll compare this to I guess something that would more resonate with me when Chris Bosh left the Rapids in 2010. Fans were so upset, like he got booed like crazy. They've come around since then, but I look back on that like Chris Bosh was one of the better players in the NBA. The Raptors did nothing to put a team around him, so of course he's going to leave. Of course he's going to go somewhere else because there has been no progress here. When LeBron left Cleveland the first time, like he gave everything for that team, but like they just could not put a proper team around him. And if your team fails you to a degree, I think you should be allowed. Well, I mean, you're allowed to do whatever, but I think fans should accept the fact that like sometimes it's the team that didn't do it for you and not you doing it for the team. I think that kind of applied to LeBron at the time. And for Dame, I think that could apply here. But hey, full credit to him for being loyal. The last thing we're going to quickly touch on, I would love to get comments on this. Do you think Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point single game record can or will ever be touched in the NBA? So one thing that came yesterday was that Dame had 41 and a half. Wilt Chamberlain had 41 and a half in this ridiculous game. And again, anybody in the comments, do you guys think 100 points will ever get touched again in the NBA? What are your thoughts?
I think it could. Like I think we could be close to this, but it needs to something crazy like do happen, like two double overtimes, like Kings and the Clippers and stuff like that. So the players just go up to play like 50 minutes, and I think it can be done in 50 minutes. Like if Damian had 10 more minutes, it's possible that he will be like close to the 100 points. But the team needs to work for the player to score 100 points. Like that's. But if the player scores 100 points, like that's probably a blowout. So like yeah, it will be difficult, but we don't know what the future holds. Like the pace is going higher, the defense is not allowed to be played on top level. I wouldn't want to say the defense. There is no defense in the NBA in the regular season. I'll just say the defense is not allowed to be played at top level. Like that's huge pace and players getting unbelievably great at scoring going forward. Like true shooting percentage is increasing, and yeah, but it needs to be like two double overtime. Someone needs to play like 50 minutes to be able to dine it, but it will be difficult. Like
Yeah. So for Wilt, when he broke it, that season he broke it, he averaged 50 points a game, which is just ridiculous. I think even more ridiculous, he averaged 48 and a half minutes a game. He averaged more minutes per game than an NBA game because of overtime and stuff. So I don't have the exact number of minutes he played in that particular game, but it was likely around 48 minutes, or it was exactly 40 minutes. He played the whole game. So I think you're right. A player has to play like 50 minutes, so to have to go to overtime. And I think it would have to be like a late season game, or even like I don't want to say a playoff game, but it has to be a game where you have to play that many minutes, where it's close, but you still play that many minutes and can get those points.
the interesting part is then Booker, like how he scored his points. Like they were fouling him like a ton, like late into the game.
Yeah. And Kobe, when he had 81 against the Raptors, I've watched the entire game back. He got fouled a ton and just made, I think he missed one free throw. He took like probably around like 20 something free throws and only missed one, something like that. But yes, vital thing. Okay, let's say you had plus 100 on yes, this record gets broken. No, this record doesn't get broken. You had to bet on one. It lasts forever. So just even odds. Will it ever get broken? Would you bet on the yes or the no? I would personally bet on the no. It will never get broken. What do you think?
So like ever, like for like
Yeah,
next
like just to say you have to pick a side.
I would say no. I would say,
Okay.
but that price, I would say no. Like
Okay.
easy,
Fair enough.
easy. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say like it should be like plus 500 to it get broken. Like
even then, I think I'd still bet on the other side of that.
Yeah. So I just pull up for a second, like Booker 70 points game. He played 45 minutes and he had 26 free throws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's like
everything has to align.
Yeah.
And they lost that game too, which is also it's crazy. All right. That is all for today's show. Somebody said rip your hands off it, even I'm just to pick a side, but yes. Let's go to the recap of today's show and of the play. Only one official play for today. Heat at Sixers. Jimmy Butler over 17.5 points paired with the game total under 226.5, minus 120 at DraftKings. Let's try to start the week off right. For more content from Pick and Roll, make sure you subscribe to the Board YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button before you go. And want to let you guys know that right now, as I'm speaking, the Hammer HQ YouTube channel, the main flagship channel of the Hammerbet Network, is live for the World Putting League Championship. So mini golf, the World Championships are going on in Florida at the moment. Kind of crazy, yes, but I just put the link in the YouTube chat to be able to go and watch that World Putting League Championship. Watch along with Rob Pizzola. I didn't think this existed until a few days ago, but I was watching before we started today. Very entertaining to see professionals in the mini golf space. Pips, you ever played mini golf? Is that something popular in Europe?
No, I never played golf in my life, so
okay.
not even close to it.
Well, anyways, Go check it out. I had a lot of fun tuning in. I'm going to be there after this. Go to the Hammer HQ YouTube channel or the link in chat. But for the NBA stuff, we're here on the board every weekday. Once again, let's hope to pick cashes for myself and Pips. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more.